Yo, what's going on, guys? It is A-Rod Plays, and we are back at it again. In this one, we are discussing the ABCs, XYZs. They got new support. There's a new XYZ, there's a new Dragon Buster Cannon. We're going to get right into it, and I'm going to tell you what they do, how they work, what you can accomplish with them. Let's get right down into it. First card we're going to go over, X Cross Cannon. This is a retrain of X Head Cannon. X Head Cannon did not have an effect. This one does. It is a level 4 light machine effect monster. You can only use each of the first and second effect once per turn. The first effect says if you control a light machine monster or a union monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. So let's discuss that for a quick second. Let's say you have Y or you have Z out. You summon Y or Z, you have X Cross Cannon in your hand. You special summon X Cross Cannon from your hand, and you immediately have access to XY or YZ. Moving on, during your main phase, you can equip one appropriate light machine union monster from your deck to this card as an equip spell. It is treated as being equipped by its own effect. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn, except light monsters. Now, for some decks, that is going to be a limitation. It's going to be a huge limitation, actually. However, in the light union deck, the light machine union deck, almost every card in the extra deck is machine, is light, so it's really not an issue. But I want to tap on this. We were talking about special summoning X Cross Cannon, right? Theoretically speaking, right? We have Y or Z in our hand in addition with X. Now what you're going to do is either summon Y or Z, special summon X from your hand, use X second ability to special summon the missing Y or Z, getting straight into XYZ. Now that is a turn 1 play, and you can do it as long as you have X Cross or Y or Z. Moving on. Y Dragon Airbed. A level 4 light machine union effect monster. I want to note, X Cross Cannon is not a union. You cannot search him by card saying search for union, blah 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 blah. So, Y Dragon Airbed. If this card is special summoned, you can equip one light machine monster from your hand or graveyard to this card as an equip spell. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except light monsters. Its second ability reads, once per turn, you can activate one of the following effects. Target one machine monster you control, equip this card to it as an equip spell. If the equipped monster would be destroyed by battle or card effects, destroy this card instead. Or special summon this equipped card. So, what this is reading is, it can attach like a union, it can detach like a union. If your monster would be destroyed by anything, this card is destroyed instead. Simple, right? The first effect, if this card is special summoned, you can equip one light machine monster from your hand or graveyard. This is going to give you recursion. You can choose your A's, you can choose your B's, your C's, you can have your VWs if you so chose. However, those have not been retrained yet, so I do recommend doing the ABC, XYZ. It is most likely going to be the strongest strategy. In addition to replacing X, Y, and Z with these new retrains, your deck is going to be extremely faster than what it was prior. And that's assuming that you know all your combo lines, you know how the ABCs work off of each other, you know how to Platinum Gadget, you know how to Union Driver. Now, in my opinion, in addition to these X, Y, and Z's cards, we might not need Union Driver, but time will tell. Let's move on though. We have Z-zillion Catapult. It is a light machine union effect monster. If this card is special summoned, you can equip one of your banished light machine monster to this card as an equip spell. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn except light monsters. This can see a lot of play when you have your ABC out there. When ABC is out there, you're banishing your materials, blah, 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 blah. You want to bring them back. You want to have more fusions. You want to have more interactions. And so with Z-zillion Catapult, it's going to give you more of an extension. It'll extend your hand to the banishment. You have Y, that's extending your plays to the grave. You have X, that's expanding your plays from the deck. It's going to be an extremely fast deck as long as you know your combo lines. And not to mention, it's also going to be, I don't think it's going to be tier 1, tier 0. However, with this upgrade, it will be able to hold its own against some of the rogue decks, some of the best decks that, in my opinion, I should say, some of the best decks, in my opinion, out there right now. But again, I've said it before, I'll say it again, only time will tell. Ability 2, it is the same thing as the Y Dragon Bed. It works as a union. It can equip itself to a machine monster. It can unequip itself from a machine monster. If that monster would be destroyed by battle or card effect, this card's destroyed instead. It can special summon itself from being equipped. If it's in the spell or trap card zone, you can special summon it. Moving on, we have the new XYZ Hyper Dragon Cannon, a level 9 light monster. He's a machine fusion with an effect. He is special summoned by using one X Cross Cannon, one Y Dragon Airbed, and one Z-zillion Catapult, and must be special summoned by banishing the above cards from your field and or graveyard. That is the exact same effect as ABC. You can get this card out as long as they're on the field or graveyard and they get banished. We just discussed how having a card that can get things out of banished will be beneficial. It's extremely beneficial to recycle your ABCs and now your XYZ Hyper Dragon Cannon. But what makes this card so good? Well, during your opponent's turn, you have a quick effect. You can discard one card, then target one card your opponent controls, destroy it. Okay, fair enough. You can banish this card from your field or graveyard, then reveal one level 8 machine fusion monster from your extra deck. Special summon up to 3 of the fusion materials on it from your graveyard or banishment. This card is basically reading what our trap card does. Alright? Our trap card for the ABCs, XYZ's union does exactly that. It brings them back from banished. And on top of that, why is this better than XYZ Dragon Cannon? Basically same effect, but it can bring itself back. It brings its pieces back. It brings back the X Cross. It brings back the Y Dragon Airbed. It brings back the Z-zillion. It brings them all back. So we can run 2, you can run 3 copies of this XYZ Hyper Dragon Cannon. But that's not all they gave us. We still have 2 more cards to go. And in my opinion, we're saving the best for last. Moving on, Union Controller. I know a lot of you guys are looking at the art and you're wondering, well, why is it enemy controller? Well, Kaiba uses enemy controller in the original Yu-Gi-Oh! And in the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Part of his decks included the XYZ Dragon line. And now with the retrain, why not get the retrain of the enemy controller? Now we have Union Controller, a level 6 light machine. He's a fusion with the effect. Must be special summoned by banishing the above monsters you control. That would be one light machine monster and or one Y or Z. You can only use the effect of this card once per turn. If this card is special summoned from the extra deck, you can add one spell or trap that mentions Union monster from your deck to your hand. That's going to target our next card. We'll talk about that in a second. What that card can also get is your Union Hanger. Now, a lot of people who play this deck know that Union Hanger is the end-all be-all best card of the deck. And if you don't have Union Hanger, your deck is limited by 25, if not 50% of its power level just because you don't have the Union Hanger. With this fusion card, and with the Y, Z, and X being able to get each other so easily, we're going to get that Union Hanger way, way more often. It's going to benefit us tremendously. But again, I don't want to hold up on that too much. Once per turn during your main phase, you can special summon one Light Machine Normal or one Union monster from your hand. Let's avoid putting in the normals. Let's avoid putting in the X-heads. Let's avoid putting in the Dragon. We don't need it. We have the retrains. Completely replace your XYZs in your deck currently and replace them with these. If you have XYZ Dragon Cannon in your extra deck, swap them out for this. Why not run the Hyper Dragon Cannon? If you're running 3, take out 1, put in 2, and have a Union controller. It is more ability to do more, to accomplish more, to be more consistent, to perform your deck at a faster speed. I said at the beginning of the video that this deck will not be tier 1, tier 0. I need to explain to you guys what that means. A tier 0 format means that we only play one deck. That only one deck has the power level to beat that one deck. When we're talking about a tier 1 format, we're talking about there are 3 to 4 decks that people can play, and those 3 to 4 decks are most likely the best in the format. And yes, you can find things that beat them. However, it is common amongst the community to say that those in the tier 1 format are the best decks. So when I say that ABC's XYZ isn't a tier 0 or tier 1 deck, don't take that as this isn't a good deck. This is a very good deck, and you can perform it with your friends at your card shop, at your locals. You can do a lot of stuff with this deck. Don't take it as a shot, if you will. Alright, so let's move on though. In my opinion, this is the best card to come out in this set. It is called Union Activation, a normal spell card, and you can only use 1 or 2 effects of this card once per turn. The first effect reads, send 1 Light Machine Normal or 1 Union monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard. And if you do, add 1 Light Machine monster with the same original attack but a different name from your deck to your graveyard. The second effect reads, if you special summon 3 Light Machine monsters at the same time while this card is in your graveyard, you can banish this card, add 1 monster with 3,000 or more attack from your deck to your hand. Then immediately after this card resolves, you can normal summon the added card. Alright, let's talk about it. This effect, right here, facilitates ABC, XYZ, XY, YZ, every single Union fusion that you can imagine is facilitated by this one card. If you by chance run the VWs in your deck, and I'm going to tell you right now, for the record, if you have VWs in your ABC to XYZ deck, you're playing it wrong. VWs are slower and have a lesser of a power cap. But, to the point I'm trying to make, even if you're running VWs, with this card, you can have V, go straight into W, and have VW immediately. You can go Y, Z, get X, X special summons from the deck, you get XYZ. You go B, B goes to the grave, B searches, you get B to your hand, you get A or C. This card facilitates ABCs and XYZs, and I'm not sure if we'll be able to run the potential of 2 A to Zs, but as of right now, it's looking like it's a possibility to run more than 1. But that's all I got. I am signing off. That was the new XYZ retrains. I hope to see you guys next time, and if you like the video, consider subscribing, hit that like button, share it with your friends, and hey, I hope to see you guys soon. Have a good one. Peace.